Good morning. My name is Don Taylor. It's April the 11th, Sabbath morning, 2023. This is my fifth time and trying to do this video on the to share my testimony of how a year ago, this coming March, that I quit smoking by God's grace, and I became very, very terminally ill with COVID, and so this was the 1st of March that I quit, and around the end of March, I had my first hyperventilation attack. Maybe it was because I was, you know, I think I caught COVID after this time. But I went through about a 7 to 10 day period of intense hypertension to the point where I thought I was going to die. The attacks would be range from 45 minutes to about an hour and a half, and I thought I was going to die. My blood pressure must have been well over 200, over 90, and because my heart was really thumping, right? And I never want to go through that kind of pain again. But anyway, I had a friend of mine who was a pastor in Edmonton. He pastors the church there. His name is Reg Smith, and he stayed with me for about a week. Prayed over me, right? From there, he didn't come here. I think his prayers kept me alive. Anyway, after these attacks were over, this would bring it to about March, April, the first week in April. I went to the clinic, and they wrote me a prescription for blood pressure, bring down my blood pressure. So this is the ramipril 5 mg. So I was on it about the end of March to about the maybe end of April, right? And I think I stopped taking it for about a week. So I've been I've been on it for 3 weeks, maybe stopped for a week. And at that point, I had my first hyperventilation attack, where I was taken into the hospital in Hope by ambulance. And that's where I ended up being put on the blue and the green puffers, right? And that seemed to help for a time. So now I was on the blue and green puffers, plus the medication. And then because I missed a week, they said, well, we need to up it to about 10 mg on the blood pressure. And so something wasn't just quite right. I was feeling that something was triggering the hyperventilation attacks. Now I know that is true, right? And so I did a little research on ramipril, and ramipril can cause inflammation of the lungs. It's one of the side effects. It's going to be different for everybody. But anyway, at the time that I think I went in for another checkup, and the doctors put me on, upgraded the green puffer to the Spiriva Restomat. And so I was on that probably to April, June, July. I was on it for a couple months. I was still taking the blue puffer. And well, something was up. And I knew that something triggered the hyperventilation attacks, right? And so I think when I went in, when they gave me the Spiriva, the doctor also wrote me out a prescription for in case I got pneumonia, because this will bring it up to about early fall. And for prednisone, 50 mg, and doxycycline, 100 mg, right? So I had that stashed away. And anyway, I did a research on prednisone, and I was reading Dr. Berg's testimony on YouTube on the side effects of prednisone. It's way overused, and I got ticked off. I did a video about it, and I threw the prednisone in the garbage, and the doxycycline, right? I threw it out. And anyway, a short time after that, I guess this would be early fall, I had my first major hypertension attack that lasted about 21 days. I had one attack that lasted 48 hours. I couldn't sleep, chronic fatigue. I had another attack that lasted 24 hours, the second attack. Chronic fatigue, I could not sleep. The hyperventilation was in trigger mode. And then I was using as far as the rest of the time, I was using the blue puffers. I would take the dogs for a walk, and I could feel an attack coming on, and I barely made it home, back to the house. So I ended up carrying my blue puffer with me when I went outside to take the dogs for a walk, or if I went out to chop some wood and it was cold out, that would trigger the attack, right? So I was really going through it. And so it was comparable to the hypertension attacks. But when they took me in by ambulance for the hypertension, first time I've ever experienced hypertension, my blood pressure was 235 over 95. It was high. And anyway, after the attacks, I thought, well, maybe this is a good time to try this here, right? So I took the shuttle bus into Hope on a Thursday. So this would be mid-fall, October, November. It was already, cold out, and I got another prescription, another refill, and I took it. And amazingly, the first day, my hyperventilation stopped. No trace of it. My lungs were normal. I felt good. It's like I'd never been sick. Man, this is so strange. So I ended up taking, over a 5-week period, I ended up taking 3 treatments of the prednisone and the doxycycline, because it's doing the job. This was not doing the job, right? The Spiriva Restomat. It just so I got to thinking, well, the first time that I had the hyperventilation attack was when they doubled my blood pressure medication. Could there be a coincidence? And when I did the research, like I was saying before, that one of the side effects of taking ramipril is it causes the inflammation of the lungs. And so when I took the prednisone and the doxycycline, my lungs cleared up. And that, to me, that tells me, yeah, my hunch was right. And that's where I'm at right now, right? That's where I'm at right now. And so I did, I'm working with my doctor. He's arranged for me to go into the clinic in Boston Bar here next Wednesday. So I'm still waiting for a call if I can hold out that long. I didn't know if I can or not. I've been up all night. So anyway, I thought, well, I better use what I have, along with prayer, because I've been spending, really pressing in on my spiritual path too at the same time. And I'm just going to walk you through to what I'm doing for my own home remedy. This is what this podcast is for. So this is the, I'm going to turn this on here. This is the AquaCure machine. It's a hydrogen oxygen generator, right? You can see the water being bubbled there. That's the hydrogen oxygen coming out. And turn it off. That's for my hydrogen water this here. So I get to breathe it, the hydrogen oxygen, and I get to drink it at the same time, right? So this morning I did my first hour treatment. I've been doing this before, but now I know I need to really get into it. And the Lord blessed me with this. My brother in Ontario, the Lord put it on his heart to gift me this machine. This $3,200 machine now, if you had to buy it, not cheap, right? And so what I've been doing. So this is the first part of my treatment is to do an hour on this here and drink a glass of hydrogen water. And along with that, I thought, well, why can't I take take the hydrogen water and put it into a nebulizer. That's what I've done here, right? This is my nebulizer here. My sister in the United States blessed me with that, and so I did my first test. I'll just turn this on here. You can see it working there. Okay, so much for that. So that's the hydrogen water. I did my research on this. And so I thought, well, I could take it to the next step and take the hydrogen water and fill up this glass. And this is a colodial silver, right? We hook it up to this here. It's got 3 9-volt batteries. And so what I like to do is that I made about 16 ounces of hydrogen water with colodial silver. So the hydrogen water, it dissipates after 24 hours, so it's just colodial silver water now after 24 hours. What I would like to do is to take this here, right, and put it into the hydrogen water here. I can just take that there and take the hydrogen water and charge it with colodial silver, and use that to drink, right, and use it also to use as in the nebulizer. So I would have to make a fresh batch of colodial silver every day. Or can I? I think I can just add the colodial silver water as a concentrate into the hydrogen water. I think I'll do that. As far as to drink it and also for nebulizer treatment, I'll work it out. But I had to do something. The doctors don't walk you through everything. And you know, when I went to the hospital there last Thursday to get checked out, took the shuttle bus into town. They, because I was up all night this past week. I've been off the antibiotics, off the prednisone and doxycycline for about 10 days now. And a few days after I got off, I'm off off the antibiotics. My chest would begin to tighten up, and my diaphragm would begin to tighten up. Right, I knew that whatever is wrong with my lungs, it was coming back again. Right, that the antibiotics worked to clear it up, and I felt good. A couple of days after taking the antibiotics, that my condition was returning, and this happened 3 times in a row over a period of 5 weeks. It took 3 doses of the antibiotics, and so that's where I'm at now. And so this third time around, that I started, a week ago, I started getting the hyperventilation attacks return back. And just prior to going to the hospital, I was up all night, like I was up all night today. I came to the point where I thought I would have to phone the ambulance, that I couldn't wait for the shuttle bus to take me in. So anyway, he made it through. Took the shuttle bus into Hope. When I walked into the hospital, all my symptoms stopped, amazingly. All the hypertension was gone, and they put me on where they put those five probes on you to monitor you, and they also did a heart scan. Took a picture of the heart with where they attached 12 cables to you, right? So they take a 10-second shot of your heart. They did the blood work. They did the X-rays of the chest. My lungs were clear. I had no pneumonia. That's why the doctors gave me the prednisone and doxycycline just in case, because it's winter, right? And being away from Hope, that you could get sick pretty fast. Anyway, the doctor came back, and he said, "Well, you're good. You can go home. There's nothing wrong with you. Your heart is fine. Your blood work is fine. Your monitor is fine. Everything was good." So I unstrapped myself, took all the wires off, and I left, and I caught the shuttle bus home. So that brings everything up to date, right? So since coming home this past day, since Thursday, that's a Saturday now, that the hypertension is, hasn't, it's starting to come back, right? And I know I would have to use the blue puffer to stop it. So I've been having to use this once an hour, 1 puff an hour. And that's not good, because that's way over medicated. And so what I showed you is my attempt of using the AquaClear machine to breathe in the, I could do an hour on the AquaClear machine, then drink at least 2 liters of the hydrogen water a day, right? And then to use the nebulizer for hydrogen, and actually add the colodial silver with it, right? So the nebulizer would be hydrogen water infused with colodial silver, and I do it. That would be my second treatment, and to see how that goes. I have to do something. Because I can't wait to until going to the clinic on Wednesday is either to do something to see if it's going to help alleviate the suffering that I'm going through, this hypertension, or spend time in the hospital. That's it. That's where I'm at. So, so this is my 5th attempt. I try to do this video. So it's almost 21 minutes. I'm going to end it here. Get this out, get it uploaded, and get it up to YouTube. Then I'll upload it to Facebook. So I'm all, along with this, I've been spending about 2/3 of the day. I'm devoting 2/3 of the day to pressing in to the Lord, to spending quiet time, reading the Word, prayer, intercession, pressing through, getting the breakthrough in the Holy Spirit, to where you just you soak in His presence, right, when you make that breakthrough. So spending time in the manifest presence of the Lord, I know there's healing there, right? There's healing there, and I was praying that maybe God would give me a miracle, but I know that maybe He wants me to use what I have, along with pressing in, to get through this trial that I'm going through, because I know that I'm going through a Job situation, right? And I know that I'm at the end of my trial, that the return of the Lord is at hand. I'm talking about the 3 days of darkness. And the Lord showed me that the 3 days of darkness is the fulfillment of 2 Thessalonians, the 1st chapter. That when the 3 days of darkness comes, this is when the unveiling of the sons of God will take place, and that they'll be raised up to meet the Lord in the air, to receive their mandate to go back to the earth, and to begin to walk out their destiny as manifested sons of light, to walk where God's raising up a people that He's going to be glorified in, a people that will be walking in His manifest presence. That this is going to bring, this is going to spark this end time revival to bring in the harvest. Anyway, I'm going to end it here. A 23-minute video. Any comments, suggestions concerning my attempt at using the hydrogen oxygen machine and the nebulizer treatments? I sure would like to hear from you out there. This is Don Taylor coming to you from my little place here in Boston Bar, British Columbia.